So I met with someone recently and had an informational interview, and he holds the job that I want. And after, having breakfast, he offered for me to come and kind of shadow him and walk around the workplace. What's your advice on preparing for that? What should I do?
So first of all, it's great that you did this, because shadowing is a great idea, because as you'll find out, if you get to spend a part of a day or even a day with somebody, you will subconsciously start seeing what words they use and how they describe things. So I had this student who was from rural Oklahoma, and he had a twang, and he went on my New York trip back in the 90s, and he got a job in New York, in a Wall Street analyst job, and back there, let's say 3 years later with Oklahomans, and all of a sudden he's like, "Hey, professor, what do you want to bring everybody over here or what?" And I'm like, "What happened to this twang guy?" Right? So you're going to become a little bit like them.
Mm-hmm. So I'm a curious person. I have a lot of questions to ask, and it's a big HR department, and there's a lot of people to talk to. So is it rude if I end up saying how long should I stay? He invited.
Yeah, well, first of all, let's start with the first part. It says you're a very curious person, which is great, because the way you impress people during your shadowing is by the questions that you ask. And so many students try to impress people with what they know. And the first problem is what you know was told to you by a professor who may have never had a real job and certainly hasn't had a real job lately, right? So we may not have taught you anything that's impressive to people. Plus, you're brand new, they've been working a long time, probably don't know anything that can impress them. So you impress them with the questions. So that was great observation. You're going to impress them by asking them questions, being interested in the business, and you can show that you're smart by the question you ask. You can show that you understand people by the question you ask, which is very important. So the answer of how long to stay is, you look for cues to see, does it look like they want to get back to work? If they, and you always want to leave while they're happy. Mm-hmm. You don't want to wait until it's over. Right. Like every relationship ends, people are angry. Well, if you weren't angry, it wouldn't have ended, right? So if they're very impressed, just say, you've been very, very nice. I've taken up 3 hours of your time. I really don't want to take up any more of your time, so I'll go. And if they're like, no, and like, I have to, no, please, then okay, stay, right? So sometimes they might say stay just to be polite, but you look to see, does it look like they want to go back to work, or they enjoying it?
So if we're thinking about the follow-up, I know that in some of our things in class we talk about sending handwritten letters. That's the thing that I like to do. And if I talk to people in that day, other than the person that I'm shadowing, is it overkill to send thank you letters to more than just that person if I spend time with other people?
No, it's sending thank you letters is the greatest thing in the world. For my professional seminars, my goal is to send 1,000 thank you notes every year, which is 3 a day. So I don't make it, but I probably get into the 600 or 700s, right? So I try to thank everybody, because I've noticed that wealthy and successful people spend a lot of time thanking people, and once you put your mind to it, as I do, and as you are in this situation, you realize, right? People are filming this thing for us. People got the studio for us, right? I need to thank you for asking me these questions, right? So if you put your mind to it, you find a lot of people you could thank, and being appreciated is the highest human need, so you should never not thank people and worry that it's overkill, right? Always thank people, or also nice to meet you. And you can do an email instead of a letter. If you don't have to send you can send a personal letter, but if you meet 12 people, you can send 12 emails if you don't want to send 12 letters, but never should feel like it's overkill.
Okay. So for the mentoring program, my mentor lives in Houston, and kind of right off the bat, he said that he would never be traveling to Oklahoma, but I end up being kind of near Houston during the year. Would it be too forward for me to offer for us to meet in person when I'm down there?
No, definitely not. And what I do is I call it kiss the ring, and it's just what it means. I'm going to show up and pay respect. Mm-hmm. So every time I'm in Oklahoma City, there are certain people who are on my list, and I tell them, hey, just wanted to let you know, I'm going to be in Oklahoma City. I know you're busy, but I never come to town without letting you know I'm in town, because I always love to visit with you. Right? And even if they never have time to visit with you, it shows you're thinking about them, you respect them, and that you want to see them. So you get credit for this even if they never see you. it's all genuine, right? I mean, I don't send these emails to people I don't want to see, right? I send them to the people who are important to me, the people who are helpful to me, the people I appreciate, and I offer to come by and see them if I can. So you absolutely should do that. It's an opportunity to connect just by asking if you have time to see me.